Yo, what's going on? It's your boy back with another video. Hope everybody out there doing good. Hope everybody having a blessed day. Just want to give thanks and praise to the Most High. Coming at y'all with some more Cedar drop. You know what I'm saying? This right here is for those of you who might not fully understand or coherent with the concept of cedar being referred to as incorruptible wood, or cedar being the wood referred to as incorruptible wood in the translations of Shittim wood. So if you're having trouble seeing those connections, hopefully this video is for you. You feel me? So without further ado, we're gonna go ahead and get into it. First off, I just wanna send some love out there to my bro 432 drop. You know what I'm saying? For send some thanks out there to him, man, for this video right here. You know what I'm saying? For making this video, Sacred Trees in the Word, and featuring the drop. So we want to give thanks to that brother for that right there, man. And for everything you do, man, for the work you put in, bro. Appreciate you, man. Real talk. Also, man, I want to send some love out there and give some thanks to the bro Lex Will, man, the King Lex Will, for this video right here, man. He featured my Trees of Eden video and tied a beautiful teaching in with it, man. Like, this video is something serious. Y'all gotta check this out. Like, this video is deep as hell. Y'all gotta catch this. So just want to send some love and some thanks out there to that brother right there, man. Man, I gotta send some love out there to my big dog Irvin Reed. Man, this brother right here, he was out in the park out in Colorado. The brother's in Colorado, man, so he's in the Four Corners. He got a, you know what I'm saying, a great opportunity to show us some things, you know what I'm saying, to validate what we've been looking at for those of us who aren't nowhere near the area, you know what I'm saying. So I want to send some love out there, man, and some thanks to this brother right here for this video. Man, y'all know my computer be tripping when I be trying to play these videos, or else I play the whole video right now. But let me see if I can play some of it.
Taking a little quick stroll through the park. Something came to mind real quick while I was walking around, and this is for DCG Breeze. Now, he was talking about the trees, right? And, you know, covered different pines and Colorado called coniferous, named after the tree. Now, I turn in every tree that he breaks down is right here.
You hear that?
Down,
Okay, so now you go to tripping.
So this is for you. I'm gonna show y'all real quick. Now understand, not only
So he finna go and take y'all and show y'all the trees. You know what I'm saying? I was talking about in the Trees of Righteousness video, and if I remember correctly, if any of y'all seen it, I really ain't even know what the white poplar was, the white album that the brother gonna show you in this video. You know what I'm saying? I ain't even really know. That's why I was like, I got to do some more looking at it, you know, because it's only in the Brenton Septuagint translation. But as the brother show you the tree right there, and the brother got extensive knowledge on the tree too, as well as his root system. You know what I'm saying? Certain things, how it does, and its relativity to other trees. When you cut the stump of that tree, it'll still turn into a bush because it's still alive, like the tree. Something serious. So that tree out there, you know what I'm saying? But yeah. So I just want to give some show some love, man, and say thank you to this brother right here, Irvin Reed. Y'all go subscribe to the brother, man. Check the brother out. And also, bro, Irvin, if you watching this, man, this video right here, this FaceTime tactic, and what time is it, bro? What you said about them Levites, bro, that was real. You know what I'm saying? That was deep. I was like, yeah, that's real there. You know what I'm saying? So I just want to give a shout out to Irvin Reed. Alright, man, so let's get into this tree drop, man. So we're gonna be So if you remember last time from like the Excellent Archer series, we was digging on the Eastern Red Cedar for a little bit, and you know what I'm saying, since we've been digging on this Four Corners region, things like that, we're gonna dig on the Western Red Cedar. Alright, so coming from the wiki page of thujaplicin. Thujaplicin, commonly called Western or Pacific Red Cedar, giant or Western arborvite, arborvitite, giant red cedar or shinglewood, is a species of thuja, an evergreen coniferous tree in the cypress family of coniferous Acacia. How do you say that? Native to western North America. Okay, distribution, thujaplicin is among the most widespread trees in Pacific Northwest. It is associated with Douglas fir and western hemlock. So, remember Douglas fir. So they are saying that the thujaplicin, which is the western red cedar, is associated with the Douglas fir. We're gonna go into that once we get it from one more source. Description, you know what I'm saying, these are thujaplicin is a large tree. You know, a little something on there. We're gonna jump down a little bit. Okay. Alright, so we're gonna go over here to the wild garden. nwplants.com. Thujaplicin western cedar giant arborvite, excuse me. Arborvitate, yeah, okay. So plant brief. They say this is a magnificent cedar which revered by Northwest native peoples. Such was their respect and dependence on this tree that it was called, look at that, the tree of life. The tree of life. Okay, grows rapidly, you know, highly ornamental. You know, these cedar trees are what people use as Christmas trees, like, you know what I'm saying? So it's definitely, it's an ornamental tree, like when you think about that, which is crazy, you know what I'm saying, defiling these sacred trees with that paganism. But the wood is both the wood and foliage are highly fragrant. Is extremely adaptable, can stand in some water in the winter. Okay, we're gonna jump down and say description. One of the native giants of the Pacific Climax Forest, the majestic evergreen, also adapts well for use in the garden. In the wild, one might run across the western red cedar in boggy lowland forest or in the Douglas fir and mountain hemlock forest of the mountain. So as you can see here, this western red cedar is being associated with the Douglas fir once again. Okay, so remembering coming out of Isaiah 41:19, where the Most High said, "I'll plant in the wilderness the cedar, the shittim tree, and the myrtle, and the oil tree. I will set in the desert the fir tree and the pine and the box tree together." So remember, we were showing how these three trees right here are kind of similar. Let me see if I can highlight it. These three trees are kind of similar. The fir and the pine. Remember, the fir and pine is kind of one and the same. Okay, and all these trees are what? They are coniferous evergreen trees. Okay, so when you jump over to the pine page on Wikipedia, it tells you what the modern name. Hold on, let me take this real quick. Sorry about that, fam. It say the modern English name pine derived from Latin pinus, which some have traced to Indo-European based pet resin. Okay, I'm gonna jump. It say in the past, pre-19th century, they were often known as fir, Old Norse furrow, fair. In Danish, fjør, furrow, furu, however you say, furu, verin, forehead. But in modern English, the fur is now restricted to fir, habeas, and Douglas fir. So, as you can see, the pine, because we on the Wikipedia pine page, is the fir tree. Okay, and as they were saying, the western red cedar is associated with the Douglas fir, as we can see. And then when you got they tell us, you know what I'm saying, that in the wilderness and in the desert, the Most High will plant the cedar, the fir, and the pine tree. So, you know what I'm saying, all that interesting. Now, what we gotta understand is the beauty of a parable. See, you know what I'm saying, like, one of the beautiful things about, you know, the way, the language of this Bible and understanding precepts is the fact that, like, a parable is to be taken literal and practical. You see what I'm saying? So understanding this verse right here can very much be talking about different nations that can be joined unto the righteous anointed of the Most High flock in the wilderness. But it could very much as well be talking about the trees that will be in this place, in the region that they at, because all of these trees have their own set of precepts throughout the scriptures themselves. So, you know what I'm saying, and in each case they are taken, they are meant to be literally speaking of the tree, and in some cases they are referring to groups of people or nations, possibly. So, you know what I'm saying, just keep all that in mind and in perspective. But as you can see, those trees, you know what I'm saying, they all have similarities and all tend to be around each other. Okay, so jumping down right here to this historical and cultural uses. It says, called the Tree of Life by the Kawaka of the central coast of British Columbia. This tree surely lives up to that. Okay, you know. So yeah, man. See what we can get. Edible and medicinal uses. You see that, some of that. We're gonna get into some of that a little later though. We'll check this out. It say common diseases. The thujaplicin is relatively disease free. Okay, that's important. The primary risk to the western red cedar are trunk and root butt rots, but however these generally affect only old trees. The acidity of the bark keeps it free of moss, lichen, or fungi. So the acidity of the bark keeps it away from these three things, which is important, especially this one. Okay, so keep that in mind as well. Although not strictly a disease, young trees should be protected from browsing by deer. Okay, cause I think like deer come up and like scratch their antlers up against the tree or something like that. Oh, check this out. Also known as giant arborvitae. That's crazy because this word right here got something to do with the area I'm at right now, man. But anyway, so this tree grows in many climates and is about the only cedar that can tolerate wet feet in the winter months, and it grows fast. Northwest Americans call this tree the tree of life. The power of the red cedar tree was said to be so strong a person could receive strength by standing with his or her back to the tree. It is called the tree of life and is still held with highest respect by all Northwest Coast peoples for its healing and spiritual powers. Okay, now back to the thujaplicin page. We're going to go to the uses tab. Okay. So you know, y'all can dig on some of that. Not really gonna get into it. Maybe a couple little pieces. Check this out. It say it is valued for its distinct appearance, aroma. These are aromatic woods. Look, and its high natural resistance to decay. Okay, being extensively used for outdoor construction in forms of posts, decking, shingles, and siding. So remember that right there again. High natural resistance to decay. Natural resistance to decay. Okay. So it's a note that the wood typically used as an insect repellent, closet lining, and to make cedar chest is a different species to Juniperus virginiana. That's the eastern red cedar, also known as red cedar. But so they say that remember, even from looking at the eastern red cedar, the cedar period, the wood is an insect repellent in itself. The actual wood and the leaves, the little needles and thistles or whatever that grow from the branches. So we're gonna jump down a little bit. Role in indigenous society. Say Western red cedar has an extensive history of use by Native Americans of coastal Oregon to southeast Alaska. Some Northwest Coast tribes refer to themselves as the people of the red cedar because of their extensive dependence on the tree for basic materials. You see what I'm saying? So people used to call themselves the people of this tree. You see what I'm saying? Just like the Acacia quails, they named after the red cedar tree. You know what I'm saying? And shouts out to them because they, you know what I'm saying, some of the main reasons why we even getting some of this cedar drop. So they were used for constructing houses, totem poles, craft into many objects including masts, utensils, boxes, boards, instruments, canoes, vessels, houses, and ceremonial objects. Roots and barks are used for baskets, bowls, ropes, clothing, blankets, and rings. So you know what I'm saying, you got all that. I want to know if there's anything down here I need to get. Let me see. Okay, so y'all check out the wood section. In the bark section, I'm gonna tell you about some of the uses that of the bark of the red cedar. But we're gonna jump up right here to back to the uses tab, and we're gonna get this part in other uses, because this right here is the most important part. So it's a thujaplicin. Thujaplicin, I guess, is a chemical substance. Is found in mature trees and serve as a natural fungicide. So the thujaplicata got a chemical substance called thujaplicin that is found in the mature trees, and it serves as a natural fungicide, thereby preventing the wood from rotting. Bam. So check that out. It produces a natural chemical in the tree that prevents the wood from rotting. You see what I'm saying? This effect lasts around a century even after the tree has failed. So look at that. That tree can remain rot resistant for over 100 years even after the tree done been cut down. So you tell me if this tree is incorruptible or not. You feel me? It say, however, thujaplicin is only found in older trees. Saplings that do not produce the chemical often rot at an early stage, causing some trees to grow with somewhat hollow, rotten trunk. It is widely used throughout Europe and America for making beehive frames. Dang, so that's interesting. But yeah, man, so check that out. So we got this right here, right? We're gonna click on this. Okay, thujaplicin, isopropyl, whatever. They are a series of related chemical substances discovered in 1930s and isolated from thujaplicata, western red cedar tree. The three compounds are A thujaplicin, B thujaplicin, and whatever thujaplicin that little symbol. They are known for potent antifungal and antibacterial properties. Keep that in mind. They are also known to be potent antioxidants. So this chemical that this western red cedar tree produces that prevents the tree from rotting is known for potent antifungal and antibacterial properties. It's a okay, so we back to the thujaplicin page. It says the thujaplicin, which we just got, a chemical substance found in mature trees, serves as a natural fungicide. So we're gonna look at fungicide. Remember, this natural fungicide prevents the wood from rotting. Okay, so fungicides are biocidal chemical compounds or biological organisms used to kill fungi and fungal spores. Okay, so this fungicide is used to kill fungi and fungal spores. Note the name fungicide. So a fungistatic inhibits their growth. A fungistatic, I guess, inhibits their growth. Fungi, can cause serious damage in agriculture. So fungi can cause serious damage in agriculture, resulting in critical losses of yield, quality, and profit. And fungicide kill fungi, so that's important. Fungicides are used in both agriculture to fight fungal infections in animals. Chemicals used to control omicities, whatever, which are not fungi. Okay, so as these are used the same mechanism as fungi to infect plants. Alright. So these things are used to kill fungi, and this red cedar tree produces naturally its own fungicides. Okay, let's see. Resistance. It says pathogens respond to the use of fungicides by evolving resistance. In the field, several mechanisms of resistance have been identified. Okay, let's see what we want from out here, if there's anything. Okay, so we're going to come back to the thujaplicin and just sum a few things up. So understanding that this western red cedar tree produces its own natural chemical substance called thujaplicin that is known for antifungal and antibacterial properties, and it serves as a natural fungicide and fungicides kill fungi, you feel me, thereby preventing the wood from rotting. So this natural fungicide that this tree produces called thujaplicin prevents the wood from rotting. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go to Google and we're going to type in the word incorruptible. But first, before we do that, let's jump to the Brenton Septuagint. We're going to jump to the Eastward. We're going to get some verses of Shittim wood so we can show the people one more time. Okay, so in Exodus 25 verse 10, the Ark of the Covenant, it says, and they shall make an ark of Shittim wood. Right? So they shall make the staves of Shittim wood. We went to 26. And they say they shall make the boards for the tabernacle of Shittim wood, standing up. So what we was looking at was that when we went into the Brenton Septuagint, in those same verses where it says Shittim wood, this is what it says. And they shall make the ark of the testimony of incorruptible wood. excuse me, incorruptible wood. Computer tripping. Alright, jump down. 13. It said they shall make the staves of incorruptible wood. Jump to 26. Same verse going down to 15. And thou shalt make the posts of the tabernacle of incorruptible wood. Right? So, as we said, wherever in the King James it says Shittim wood, in the Brenton Septuagint it says incorruptible wood. And now that was crazy because we also showed that when we went to 1 Kings chapter 4 verse 33, where it says, and he spoke of trees from the cedar and Lebanon, speaking of Lebanon. When we double clicked on that verse, we got this right here to the side, that was giving us this information about this cedar tree. Remember, it said the cedar tree is a large, noble, evergreen tree, right? And it said that the wood is of a brown color, very solid, very solid and incorruptible, right? So right here we get them referring to cedar as a very solid and incorruptible wood. Alright, so what we're going to do, we're going to type in Google on Google incorruptible and see what we can get. Okay, so right here we get a few translations. Okay, but one that definitely sticks out is this second one right here. The first one is not susceptible to corruption, especially by bribery. Okay. The second one is not subject to death or decay. Right? So incorruptible means to not be subjected to decay. Basically everlasting. Alright. Let's see anything else. So alright, we're gonna click right here on this Wikipedia tab called incorruptibility. Okay, so we gonna as you can see, when we typed in incorruptible, the first thing that pops up is a Wikipedia tab for incorruptibility. So this is what they got right here for incorruptibility. It says incorruptibility is a Roman Catholic and Eastern Orthodox belief that divine intervention allows some human bodies. So they say allows some human bodies to avoid the normal process of decomposition. Okay, after death as a sign of their holiness. Okay, bodies that undergo little or no decomposition or delayed composition are sometimes referred to as incorrupt or incorruptible. Okay, so now think about that, because as well as think about our connection to these cedar trees, because we got in the Brenton Septuagint it referring to the cedar, well excuse me, the Shittim wood as incorruptible wood, right? And so we know that we are trees as well. We are these trees, and we are referred to as cedars of Lebanon. So you got the trees referred to incorruptibleness, and you got bodies that they're associating with incorruptibleness as a sign of holiness, right? Now incorruptibility is based upon the process or the ability for some human bodies to avoid the natural process or decomposition, or for some trees to avoid the natural process of decomposition, right? Okay, so it's a bodies or trees that undergo little or no decomposition, decomposition or delayed decomposition are sometimes referred to as incorrupt or incorruptible. Now I want to jump right here because that's kind of funny, because they're referring to bodies, you know what I'm saying, and avoiding decomposition after death and things like that as a sign of holiness and incorruptibility. Check out this link right here, man. I want to give a shout out to the brother getting to the root of it all, Uno on the beats. you know what I'm saying, for dropping this link right here on me, man. Check out what it say. He it's from the Divine Word Open Sermons. I guess it's a book about by Jonathan Bailey on some sermons that he was putting together. So it say those grand old trees, right? The cedars of Lebanon, with their lofty summits and immense branches, correspond to the exalted rational principles which declare man's immortality. Okay, you see that? Alright, it says the perceptions which soar high above the earth, which teach that human beings are not creatures of a day, but have a commenced being which will never die. These are mental cedar trees, and these are what are called upon to praise the Lord when the psalmist exclaims, praise him, mountains and hills, and all hills, fruitful trees and all cedars. So bam, check that out, man. Let me see if I can, I'm gonna get a little bit more. It says this conviction of our immortal life, this sense of being an inhabitant of two worlds, our abode in one being only temporary and the other forever, is the greatest barrier against demeaning themselves and their religion to the exaltation of earthly despotism. The principle would rejoice to have only tools which care for the earth. The despot would, if it were possible, destroy the cedars of Lebanon. Those glorious sentiments are, however, not to be destroyed. They are immortal. So check that out, man. You see what I'm saying? Immortality is definitely associated with these cedar trees, these cedars of Lebanon. And immortality is man's ability to avoid the process of decomposition and death, thus making him or a tree incorruptible. Okay, so you know what I'm saying, dig on that. But we gonna go right here to so we can understand decomposition. Okay, so in the decomposition tab, it says decomposition is the process by which organic substances are broken down into simpler matter. The process is essential for recycling the finite matter that occupies physical space in the biome. Bodies of living organisms begin to decompose shortly after death. So it's a body of living organisms begin to decompose shortly after death, right? Animals such as worms also help decompose the organic materials. Organisms that are known as organisms do this are known as decomposers. Although no two organisms decompose in the same way, they all undergo the same sequential stages of decomposition. The science which studies decomposition is generally referred to as taphonomy, the Greek word taphos meaning tomb. Okay, so you know when you die, you get placed in the tomb. So okay, we understand the death and decay and decomposition. One can differentiate abiotic to biotic decomposition, biodegradation. The former means degradation by a substance by chemical or physical process, hydrolysis. The latter means the metabolic breakdown of materials into simpler components by living organisms, typically microorganisms. Alright, so we're going to jump down a little bit to the plant decomposition tab. Okay, as you can see, the orange over here is decaying. It says decomposition of plant matter occurs in many stages. It begins by leaching. It begins with leaching by water. The most easily lost and soluble carbon compounds are liberated in the process. And another early process is physical breakup of fragmentation of the plant material into smaller bits which have greater surface area for microbial colonization and attack. Okay, so it says, let me see. Let me keep reading. In smaller dead plants, the process is largely carried out by the soil invertebrate fauna, whereas in larger plants, primarily parasitic life forms such as insects and fungi play a major breakdown role, and are not assisted by numerous detrivorites species. Okay, so check out what it just said. It say primarily parasitic life forms such as insects and fungi play a major breakdown role. Okay, so fungi and insects play a major role in the decomposition of plant life. Keep that in mind, because we're gonna touch on that in a second. Okay, right here it says different types of compounds decompose at different rates. This is dependent on their chemical structure. For instance, lignin is a component of wood which is relatively resistant to decomposition. Okay, and can in fact only be decomposed by certain fungi. So only certain fungi can decompose this lignin. Okay, such as blackroot fungi. Wood decomposition is a complex process involving fungi. Right? Wood decomposition is a complex process involving fungi, which transport nutrients to the nutritional scarce wood from outside its environment. Right? So let's see. And in fact, in turn affect dead wood, contribute to wood decomposition and nutrient cycling in the forest floor. Okay, so I'm gonna jump down a little bit. Insects that feed on decaying matter, termites, grazing mammals, and the physical movement of animals through the grass are primary agents of breakdown and nutrient cycling, while bacteria and fungi play the main roles in the future decomposition and further decomposition. The chemical aspect of plant decomposition always involves the release of carbon dioxide. Okay, so it tells you that when you're dealing with wood, what are the main things is insects and fungi. It say bacteria and fungi play the main roles in further decomposition of the wood. Insects and fungi, you know what I'm saying, decompose it in its primary stages, but further along the process it is decomposed further by bacteria and fungi. So now we understand that in order for something to be classified as incorrupt or incorruptible, it has to undergo little or no decomposition or delayed decomposition, and incorruptibility is the avoiding of the normal process of decomposition. So in order for you to be considered incorrupt, you have to avoid the normal process of decomposition. Okay, and we know that decomposition in wood deals with insects and fungi and bacteria, right? And when we look at abiotic decomposition or biotic decomposition, we get biodegradation. Okay, so biodegradation is the disintegration of materials by bacteria, fungi, or other biological means. Okay, so understand that for a tree or wood to be considered incorruptible, it has to avoid the process of decomposition, and decomposition is caused by insects and fungi. So remember what we was reading from the western red cedar, right? It told us that the thujaplicin, the western red cedar, produces a chemical substance called thujaplicin found in mature trees, and it serves as a natural fungicide, thereby preventing the wood from rotting. The wood rotting is a process of decomposition. If the wood produces a natural chemical substance that acts as a fungicide. We know that fungicides do what? Fungicides kill fungi, right? Fungicides are biocidal chemical compounds or bioorganisms used to kill fungi. Okay, the natural fungicide that's used to kill fungi is called thujaplicin, just as the tree is called thujaplicin. And it is known for potent antifungal and antibacterial properties. And all these things prevent the wood from rotting, or they prevent the wood from rotting, or they aid in avoiding the normal process of decomposition. And when something undergoes little or no decomposition or delayed decomposition, they are sometimes referred to as incorrupt or incorruptible. Also, it told us up here that what? The wood was typically used as an insect repellent. Okay, remember, we can go, let me go back real fast. Okay, on Google, it's this, when you type in Western red cedar, wood database. Let's see what it say about red cedar. Okay, the wood database on the red cedar tab. Okay, look what it say right here. Rot resistance. Western red cedar has been rated as durable to very durable in regard to decay resistance. Okay, and we know that incorruptible means not subject to death or decay. Okay, so it's rated durable to very durable in regard to its decay resistance, though it has a mixed resistance to insect attack. See that? Because the wood itself, as you read, is a natural insect repellent. Okay, just the smoke from the wood repels insect, as well as the leaves. The leaves of the cedar trees are also insect repellents. So, like we say, incorruptibility from this right here is the ability to avoid the process of decomposition after death, right? Talking about these bodies, but speaking of in retrospect to trees, it is the process of avoiding decomposition. And decomposition is due to two things: fungi, bacteria. Excuse me, three things: fungi, bacteria, and insects, right? So we know that this tree right here produces natural it produces a chemical substance that has natural antifungal and antibacterial properties that prevent the wood from rotting and decaying, and it is also an insect repellent in itself, so insects wouldn't have the ability to help in the process of decomposing this tree, because the tree itself is an insect repellent. So by all means, my people out there, man, wouldn't we say that the red cedar tree fits the evergreen coniferous tree? And see this evergreen right here, man, you know it's called evergreen because it don't, like, you know, it's forever green. You know what I'm saying? Just like in one of the hold on one second. You know what I'm saying? Right here, everlasting. You feel me? Imperishable, indestructible, indissoluble, enduring, everlasting, not subject to death or decay. These trees are everlasting trees. You feel what I'm saying? They stay green, they stay righteous, they stay pure. But I don't know, so you know, I want to get at y'all, and you know what I'm saying, y'all let me know, does this tree fit the description of an incorruptible wood? Could this be our Shittim wood? You know what I'm saying, dealing with this cedar. Because I'm gonna just take y'all, man, over here This is, remember, Shittim wood was used to make the Ark of the Covenant. This is the acacia. This is the thorn acacia. It's called the Acacia tortilis, also known as the umbrella thorn and Israeli babul. Okay, they'll tell you the region. It's all around here, right? But look at this. Say, timber from this tree is used for furniture, all that stuff. The wood was used exclusively by Israelites in the Old Testament in the building of the tabernacle. They also tell you that tabernacle was built in cedar. But anyway, the tabernacle furniture, including the Ark of the Covenant. See what I'm saying? So this the tree that they saying that it's all built by. But like when you look at this tree, man, okay, it's like right here, as one of the few trees to tolerate very harsh and arid conditions. And it say something about it being old right here. We say the plant older than 2 years have been observed to be somewhat frost resistant. But you know what I'm saying? Like, it don't tell you nothing about this tree producing, you know what I'm saying, anything that'll keep it from decaying. You know what I'm saying? Like, to the extent of the cedar tree, it's not big on incorruptibility like the cedar tree is, man. You know what I'm saying? So it don't even got the holy regards. Yeah, it's just African safari tree you see on Lion King and, you know what I'm saying, all that. But at the same time, it really don't fit the description, you know what I'm saying, like this cedar tree does. So, you know what I'm saying, because as we see, man, when the Israelites was in Moab and they had dwelled in the place of the Shittim wood, they weren't worshiping no gods or no acacia tree. They were worshiping gods of the cedar tree. You feel me? And so, closing out, I want to take y'all to this article I found with someone is, you know, showing you the understanding of Shittim wood and the body of Christ, you know what I'm saying, and stuff like that, and how the Ark of the Covenant is symbolic of the body with the law in it, and the rod of, you know what I'm saying, the rod of Aaron, you know what I'm saying, all that stuff like that. But we just gonna get, now remember, these folks feel like this is the acacia. They're under the understanding that this is referring to the acacia tree, right? So now remember what we on. You feel what I'm saying? We on the cedar drop. So just understand whatever they say acacia, we know what's up. So as it say right here, right? The Septuagint, the Greek translation of the Old Testament, refers to Shittim wood as incorruptible wood. Shittim wood reflects the resurrected body of Jesus Christ with an unchangeable everlasting priesthood. The Shittim wood was used in the tabernacle and the Ark of the Covenant, overlaid with gold. It stays Shittim wood overlaid with gold. The table, shewbread overlaid with gold. The staves overlaid with gold. The boards of the tabernacle of Shittim wood overlaid with gold. The bars of Shittim wood overlaid with gold. The altar of burnt offering was made of Shittim wood overlaid with brass, and the staves of Shittim wood overlaid with the brass. You feel what I'm saying? So we'll understand, man, this incorruptible, this tree drop. Let's see what we want. It said the Shittim wood speaks of the flesh of Jesus Christ as incorruptible flesh, which speaks of the glorification of the man Christ Jesus. Though he will die for the sins of the world, he will be risen from the dead by the Spirit of holiness being declared by the Son of God with all power in heaven and earth given to him. Okay, so it's going to tell you a little bit on that. But what I want to do, you know what I'm saying, and this is on DennisBeard.org, tabernacle/tabernacle. Okay, so y'all check that out. I want to jump down a little bit though, man. There's some interesting stuff here. Now, keep in mind, you got to take the babies out the bath water. You know what I'm saying? Eat the meat, spit out the bones, or however you want to look at it. When it say Jesus Christ, just like when it say acacia, we gonna use, you know, our understanding in place of that. Whenever it say Jesus Christ, however you take that, I want you to put it into however you perspective, whether you feel it's referring to Israel as a nation, the elect, the anointed, however, you feel what I'm saying, or the Messiah, Hamashiach, Jeshua the priest, the high priest of Zechariah, however you want to look at it, you know what I'm saying. That's up to you. I'm gonna just give it to you. You know what I'm saying? So you can put it in perspective. Okay. It says, let me see. The Shittim wood depicted in the tabernacle portrays Jesus' glorification of his body as Shittim wood that will not rot or decay. I'm going to read that one more time. The Shittim wood depicted in the tabernacle portrays Jesus' glorification of his body as Shittim wood that will not rot or decay. In all the 40 years of journeying in the wilderness with hot, blistering days and cold, freezing nights, not one time did Moses and the children of Israel have to change out or replace a rotten board of the tabernacle. Jesus Christ is now glorified and remains our mediator of the covenant of grace. The glory of Jesus Christ, as seen in Shittim wood overlaid with gold, as well as Shittim wood overlaid with brass, reveal his truth that his priesthood is incorruptible and immortal after the power of an endless life. Okay, so man, just check that out, man. Y'all gotta check that out, man. What it say right here? Jesus was an Adam with a fallen nature just like ours, even though God resided in his fleshly body. The Holy One shall not see corruption, decay, or rotting of the flesh. Even in his burial, he will be raised from the dead in 3 days. This was the time that was allowed for the Aaronic priesthood to eat the voluntary offering or a vow. But the remainder of the flesh of the sacrifice that is on the 3rd day shall be burnt with fire. If any flesh of the sacrifice of his peace offering be eaten at all on the 3rd day, it shall not be accepted. Neither shall it be imputed unto him that offer it. It shall be an abomination, and the soul that eateth of it shall bear his iniquity. Therefore in 3 days Jesus will be raised as an acceptable offering unto God by the Spirit of holiness. Now check that out. Now just for perspective person right here, I'm gonna say Israel. You see what I'm saying? Because remember, Christ even told us, the Most High told us he'll bring us down in 2 days, raise us on the 3rd, right? So it say, therefore, in 3 days, right? I'm gonna say Israel, us. You feel what I'm saying? Will be raised as an acceptable offering unto God by the Spirit of holiness, right? Being those mental cedars. You see what I'm saying? Remember this right here, man. These cedars that declare man's immortality, that are called to praise the Lord, you see, which never die. These are mental cedar trees. You feel what I'm saying? So, we give all praise and thanks, man. Alright, so man, before I leave y'all, I want to give y'all this. I went to Google and I typed in most rot resistant wood. You know what I'm saying? That's what I did, and this was the first tab that came up, and it's on garden.org, and it's a tab about naturally rot resistant woods. Okay, so y'all can check that out and dig on it. I'm gonna get a few pieces out of here. Okay, so where it says understanding decay resistance, a wood from different tree species vary greatly in their resistance to decay. Most offer relatively low resistance, while few hold up quite well. That makes what makes some woods able to resist decay? Question. Okay, so I'll give you a little bit of information on the. It says, as a defense, some trees have evolved complex chemical compounds. The industry term is extractives that protect the wood against decay. Remember the western red cedar and this natural chemical production of thujaplicin. That was the case with the black locust in my garden. Okay, so alright, we jump down a little bit. It's not quite as resistant, but still defined as resistant or very resistant according to the FPL, are more common woods that are widely sold for outdoor use. Various species of cedar, cypress, redwood, and white oak. But it says cedar, cypress right there, which is interesting. The following two sections list domestic and tropical trees whose wood is exceptionally resistant, or very resistant, or moderately resistant. So exceptionally resistant, very resistant, moderately resistant. Okay. So on these two lists, look what we got right here. And resistant and very resistant, we got all cypress, we got the cedar, you know what I'm saying, we got chestnut, juniper, let's see, what else we got another cypress, and the moderately resistant, we got Douglas fir, we got pine. Okay, coming back to Isaiah 19. What's in the wilderness in the desert? We got the cedar, the fir, the pine, the incorruptible wood, which is the, you feel me? Even when you go to the Brenton Septuagint. Now notice you got oil tree, fir tree, pine tree. Okay, and you got cedar and shittim tree. Go over into the Brenton Septuagint. Look, you got the cedar tree, no shittim tree. Okay, and you got the cypress tree, right? Remember these cedar and cypress. Right here, right? Okay, so you don't got the shittim wood in this verse, just like you don't got oil, fir, or pine. How? Because they all one in the same tree. Just like the cedar and the shittim could be one in the same tree. You know what I'm saying? So, coming back. Alright, we're going to jump down a little bit. Let's see. Okay, so on this Finding Natural Resistant Wood tab, tell you a little bit about some of the domestic trees that offer exceptional resistance, naturally resistant properties, stuff like that. It says right here that for domestic wood that can be mild easily into lumber, old growth trees are the best for old growth. Forests are almost gone. Commercially available old growth redwood is quickly disappearing. Most harvesting today is done in second growth forests. Old growth western red cedar is still being harvested extensively, but once this supply is gone, another few decades or so, clear western red cedar will be much harder to come by. See what I'm saying? So all cypresses harvest, because these are very resistant woods, very resistant woods, and so everybody's using these red wood, and the red cedar has red heartwood. If that red wood is very durable, very resistant. Okay, so let me jump over here right quick, man. This is wildfoodsandmedicine.com, and this is the western red cedar. Man, y'all gotta check this out. I'm gonna skim through this, and I'm gonna put this link in the description, cause I really want y'all to check this out, man. This cedar got a lot of properties, man. This page right here give you a lot of stuff about them, man. Names for the western salish, names for the western red cedar include long life giver, rich woman maker, mother. Northwest coastal native people have artfully fashioned grand longhouses, swift and rot-resistant canoes, durable clothing. You feel me? Cedar bark is prized for its durability, flexibility to water resistance. Oh man, but check this out, man. This page give you the drop, man, on the cedar leaf medicine. You feel me? How to make, you know what I'm saying, how to use the essential oils, what it's good for. the bark, you feel what I'm saying, or how it can help the respiratory system. Man, and one of these things, hold on, let me see if I can find it. Man, check this out. It say cedar leaf is a useful antifungal for skin and nail fungus. Okay. Tell you how you can soak your feet or your body, and you know what I'm saying, what you can do. Cedar has antiviral properties that help the body rid of warts from the oil salve, you know what I'm saying, ointment. Cedar promotes immune function through stimulating white blood cells scavenging. Check that out. Herbalist Adam Seller compares one type called macrophages, I guess, to little Pac-Man. He refers these macrophages to little Pac-Man. Remember that old video game? It says because they chew up pathogens and stimulate a specific immune response. They can, he quotes, they can live 40 to 50 years and help us break down our old self and build our new self. Huh? So just like this cedar produces these things, these antifungal and antibacterial pathogens, and you know what I'm saying, or antifungal, antibacterial chemical substance that prevent it from decaying or rotting. It can do the same for us. So the cedar helps us become incorruptible as we are incorruptible. Cedar, like, you know what I'm saying, like it helps us be sustained. Like, you know what I'm saying, it's good for your skin. The reversing of the decaying of your skin. You feel what I'm saying? You can use this right here, as it said. Let me see. Y'all just relax with me for a second. Okay, anyways, but say through stimulating our immune cells to fight infection, clean up debris, and denature cancer cells, we are keeping our tissue healthy. Cedar has the ability to denature cancer cells. Okay, so this is what he recommends and how you can use the cedar wood to do that. It helps for chronic intestinal infections. Alright. So yeah, man. Hey, we need to be healthy, man, when we got there in the wilderness and we surrounded by the tree of life. Even right now, you know what I'm saying? Let's see what else, man. Let's see what else we can get. Cedar improves blood flow so you can take in more oxygen, clear waste products, and get more nutrients to tissue. Okay, it activates immune cells which directly fight microbes and also clean up the waste products of infection. Essential oils in cedar inhibit bacterial and fungal growth. See what I'm saying? So the decomposition process of trees involve fungi and bacteria, right? And the cedar wood has this chemical that prevents fungi and bacteria from decomposing the tree, right? The cedar also, in the oils you make from the cedar, it has essential oils that have bacteria that inhibit bacterial and fungal growth in us. So using that, you know what I'm saying? So man, what is cedar is crazy. You know what I'm saying? I'm just looking at this for myself. Okay, so man, they teach you about how to make the cedar oil. You feel me? How to do that. Other varieties of cedar. There's also an incense cedar out there. But look what it says. Belong to the cypress family. You see what all these trees have in common. And it's funny that all these trees are associated with each other, but this acacia really ain't got nothing to do with them. You feel me? So you the judge. Alright? You be the judge, fam. I just want to send some love out there. You know what I'm saying? Stay incorruptible. to the best of your ability. You know what I'm saying? Don't worry about nothing, man. Just remain still. You see how the trees are still? You feel they incorruptible and they still. They standing firm on their foundation. You know what I'm saying? So I just want to leave y'all with that. Give all thanks and praise to the Most High.